Hi, I'm Luke Jasmine III. I'm the owner of Parkview Early Learning Center in Northwest Spokane, United States, and a member of Spokane Alliance. At Parkview, we serve almost 100 families, most of which make less than half of the state median income. We attract many families of color because of our approach to being culturally inclusive and the fact that our staff is very representative of the community we serve. I grew up as a first generation Haitian American, and my work is motivated by the drive to help build a solid foundation for all kids, regardless of their background. When the pandemic began last spring, we had to react quickly to collaborate, come up with new policies, communication systems, and purchase a lot of new supplies just to stay open and serve as many families as we could. Childcare centers were already in crisis before the pandemic, but the pandemic pressures threatened to close close to 30% of childcare centers across the state with no hope of reopening. This would be devastating for our industry, for families struggling to make ends meet that rely on childcare, and for the economic ability to recover if people, particularly women, couldn't go back to work because of the lack of childcare centers. This is when our work with the Spokane Alliance really took off. By fall, we created a new citywide team focused on childcare. And in our first big action, negotiated a $3.3 million COVID relief fund for local childcare grants. Over 400 families and nearly 200 childcare providers in this community have benefited from this win. Alfred, one of the parents at our center, accessed this new grant funding. He works two jobs, goes to school, and trusts us to provide a culturally appropriate and inclusive environment for his Native American child. This grant stabilized childcare centers and families at a very critical time. We got to taste the win and wanted more. We started learning and doing internal organizing at our early learning center. Currently, we're organizing house meetings around the pressures families experience around childcare. These meetings have created connection and community that's hard to come by. Let me tell you, to have myself, the owner, staff, parents, and organizers together in one space to really hear each other, see the commonalities, and get insight into each other's lives has been very enriching. In the recent house meeting, one of our staff members shared his story about working as a childcare teacher and being the main parental figure for his infant. He opened up about the stress of working as a childcare teacher, the challenges to meet professional development requirements, and the subsequent challenges, struggles he is having in his own mental health and professional burnout. He said, "It's so hard to be the kind of parent I want to be for my daughter when I'm stretched so thin. As a dad myself, that got to me." While I know this is a big issue as seen by the high turnover in our industry, it was another thing to hear it directly from one of my own very valuable employees. As a community, we owe him better. The teachers of our youth deserve as much care and support as they give to our kids. Stories like his have inspired us to work as a team to organize these around these workforce issues. We need to support the people that are the backbone of our society and our economy and reduce staff burnout and turnover. It is an issue of racial justice because the workforce tends to be more people of color and immigrants. And it's an issue of gender justice because our employees tend to be women. And our kids, many of whom have experienced trauma at home, need a stable environment with less teacher turnover. Seeing our teachers build up power, possibly for the first time in their lives, to go and advocate for themselves has really touched me. Spokane Alliance has given my team and fellow community members the tools we need to organize and take action to solve the issues that directly impact us. Now, teachers and parents are feeling that change isn't as daunting as it seemed before. Other childcare centers are joining in the in with faith organizations and unions to fight for our teachers and our kids. And we're just getting started. That is power.